Hey guys, Darkfire here with 5th Battalion Filthy Casuals, and today I wanted to go over my thoughts on what is probably the biggest dev blog yet. The Infantry Overhaul is currently going live on Squad Public Testing Branch, and for those that have not heard, in a recent dev blog from OWI, it was announced that the infantry combat mechanics were getting rebalanced and new things introduced. I will leave a link in the description for those that wish to read the full dev blog. This is all happening due to OWI's desire to create a team-based tactical shooter and the team's perception that Squad has strayed from that idea, stating, "During Squad's development, we faced the inevitable temptation to stray from the original vision. Influenced by prevailing shooter trends and the desire for a broader appeal, we found ourselves at times prioritizing individual skill and instant gratification over the core principles that made Project Reality exceptional." Now, I have never played Project Reality, but I have played Squad since it was listed on Steam in spring of 2016. With that experience in Squad over the last few years, I have to say that I kind of agree with this statement. Movement speed and acceleration were increased in one of the alpha versions around 10 or maybe 12. Regardless, the idea at the time was to get players into the fight faster. What ended up happening due to the increased mobility was players trickling off and distancing themselves from squad mates. So to see player speed brought back down is a step in the right direction from my point of view. Oh, and for all the squad ninjas, OWI is removing the ability to vault or climb while in midair. Sorry guys, no more parkouring through Fallujah. Last couple of things on character movement. Fall damage is now more punishing and consistent, and also the lean angle when leaning your character has been decreased. Additionally, the devs want to change how long firefights last and how they are fought. Where Squad in its current state has become a game where pinpoint marksmanship and twitch reactions win fights, the new combat system will emphasize volume of fire and suppression on an enemy-held area. This means having more gun shooting will more effectively pin and silence enemy players, allowing for friendly players to close in and assault the position. Conversely, a well-organized defense can easily deny assaulting teams freedom of movement around the objective through sustained suppressive fires. This is being done through multiple tweaks to the player's character and suppression mechanics. Firstly, hip fire has been tossed aside for point fire. Essentially, hip fire has bullets aiming at roughly the center of your screen and can be easily controlled due to a predictable cone of fire. Point fire has bullets coming from the end of your gun and aimed where the gun is pointing. This means as you move your mouse around, the aim point of the gun will move slightly around your screen. Thus, this changes where bullets will impact when firing. Secondly, optics have been changed and are now rendered as picture-in-picture, meaning the optic is rendered separately from the surrounding areas. This allows for the optic to be magnified on the screen without magnifying the area of screen outside of the optic. The new optics look much better, and they also move around more when you move your character. Basically, if you turn too fast, you will lose your sight picture and need to reacquire it when you stop moving. This helps prevent the twitch reaction shots that have been prevalent in Squad in the past. Couple this with increased sway on weapons when you aim down sights, and it makes the fast twitch headshots nearly impossible. Now I can already hear people saying, "Dark, anyone who's been trained with a weapon can shoot better and be more stable." All I can say is that most of you have not been trained, and secondly, those that claim they are have probably never done a stress shoot. This is where you simulate combat by walking 12 miles in 3 hours with 60 pounds on your back, and then you have to bound forward the last quarter mile or so in teams to the firing line. Then you get to shoot at your targets, and believe me, I did these when I was in the service, and you can't hit hardly anything because you can't catch your breath. This update makes me feel like my character is out of breath and pumped full of adrenaline while still being able to be fun and playable. Additionally, Recoil has been rebuilt from scratch. The addition of more recoil for fully automatic weapons and more variation in that recoil will make automatic fire more situational. All weapons will now have a misalignment factor when firing. This means that as you fire, the recoil will shift the weapon in the shooter's hands, arms, and shoulder, slightly misaligning the sights and affecting follow-up shots progressively. Suppression has also been adjusted, and I would even say rebuilt. The current release of Squad has very minimal suppression effect, with some darkening at the edge of the screen and a mild bullet punch effect when rounds pass by. The Infantry Overhaul completely changes suppression. Now rounds passing by have a much larger bullet punch effect, and additionally, when you are suppressed, most of your vision beyond your rifle or arm's reach becomes extremely blurred. This is a very nice representation of the survival focus people describe in firefights, where people only worry about surviving and getting through the chaos. In the game, it allows the player to feel like he's about to die while still being able to quickly and clearly seek cover. This also makes returning accurate fire at the shooter very difficult. On the reverse, a quick reaction and large volume of fire from a fire team can quickly suppress a machine gun team. This is by far my favorite part of the Infantry Overhaul. It allows firefights to play out how they actually do in real life, where it's not about downing all the shooters at range. Hell, most of the time you don't even know who's shooting at you. Regardless, infantrymen are trained to return fire with a larger volume of fire than the enemy, thus pinning them and allowing friendlies to assault the position from a different angle. The new suppression system will allow players the time to maneuver and reward players that utilize these fire and maneuver tactics. I have to say, I really like how this overhaul felt. I played a few rounds during the public testing, and engagements feel great and immersive. There are a few things I would tweak, such as the excessive twitch that your character does when a distant round snaps by. Though it is immersive by making your character jump, it is a bit too strong. Or how the optics on machine guns and automatic rifles get blurred the moment you fire when bipoded is a bit too soon. Regardless, this overhaul makes the infantry combat feel new and stressful. It feels more real, and more like I'm just an average guy in a uniform with a rifle and not Chris Kyle or a Navy SEAL. The new mechanics feel like they will reward players that adopt and adapt military tactics to the game rather than reward precision shooters. But what do you guys think? Is this a step in the right direction for Squad? Is this going to bring back the team-based gameplay that Squad was known for in the past, or is it just OWI giving older players like myself a bone? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more casual milsim content. Thank you for all the support. Stay filthy.